Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotion this Wednesday. Past few weeks, we've heard from Francis de Sales on the subject of devotion, and we're going to continue with another reading today. Last week, we talked about his idea that basically we all have the ability to do what God wants us to do, but for some of us, it just doesn't come very naturally. It feels hard. It feels like work. And then for some of us, it's something we really enjoy and we desire to do. We're going to continue on that idea today. Those who discouraged the Israelites from going into the Promised Land told them that it was a country that devoured its inhabitants. In other words, they said the air was so malignant it was impossible to live there for long, and its natives such monsters that they ate humans like locusts. It's in this manner that the world distorts holy devotion as much as it can. It pictures devout people as having discontented, gloomy, sullen faces, and claims that devotion brings on depression and unbearable moods. The world sees devout people as they pray, fast, endure injuries, take care of the sick, give alms to the poor, keep vigils, restrain anger, control their passions, give up sensual pleasures, and perform other actions that are rigorous in themselves and by their very nature. But the world does not see the heartfelt, inward devotion that renders all such actions pleasant, sweet, and easy. Look at the bees amid the banks of thyme. They find there a very bitter juice, but when they suck it out, they change it into honey, because they have the ability to do so. Oh, worldly people, it's true that devout souls encounter great bitterness in their works of mortification, but by performing them, they changed them into something more sweet and delicious. Because the martyrs were devout men and women, fire, flame, wheel, and sword seemed to be flowers and perfume to them. If devotion can sweeten the most cruel torments of even death itself, what must it do for virtuous actions? Saints, I think we all want to do God's will in some sense. There is some level at which we feel like that's a thing that we should do. But when it comes down to actually performing those actions of charity or of forgiveness or of honesty and integrity, it can be hard in the moment because it goes against our own nature. It goes against what we feel would be good for ourselves or desire for ourselves. There's this break or this rift between what we recognize as God's will and what we sense as our own will or our own self-improvement. With devoted people, I don't think that rift exists as much. I think that people who really truly experience that devotion to God begin to understand that their own life is better the more closely they follow God's will. That as they do those things that to the world seem counterintuitive or unpleasant, they actually enjoy that experience. And again, as we looked at last week, it's something that I think we develop over time. It's something that grows from the practice of pursuing holiness and pursuing God's will. I can think of some things that other people in this world enjoy that I don't, like gardening or coffee or golf. There are some practices that if you said you loved it, I would believe you, but I couldn't really understand why, because I've never experienced enjoyment in those things for myself. But I imagine if I did those things regularly, I would find them more and more satisfying as time went on. It's the same with our devotion to God. As we pursue charity and justice and kindness and invitation and welcome and all those things that God teaches us to do and calls us to do, we may not feel like doing them at first, but as we do them more and more, they become more natural to us, and we grow to be more satisfied and find more enjoyment in doing them. Saints, I wonder, maybe the question isn't how devoted do we feel to God, but how devoted do we want to feel? That's your devotional for this week. Hope it's something helpful and worth thinking about. Hope you're doing well and staying healthy. And I'll be praying for you, Saints. Please keep praying for me. I'll see you all again soon. Take care.